Oh man, I love that theme tune. Yes, hello everybody and welcome to Schmoe. We are a South African and European-based Schmoedown after show. There wasn't any matches to discuss this week, so we're doing a bit of a spectacular pre-show. But first, let me introduce my co-host. I have to my top Liam.
Hey everyone, good to be back and looking forward to talking about the season.
To my top right is Matt.
Hi everyone, your winner is here.
Starting
and
already.
To my right is, or your left, my right is Mr. J. Wade from Speaking of Schmoedown and many shows on JCOS Network.
Yes, thank you all very much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming.
I just wanted to quickly say, Ben, I've noticed, I just wanted to ask you, Jay, about your recent music listening. They've been quite fun. And if you had a favourite Adele tracks, I see you've been listening to 30 at the moment.
So far I'm I think 4 or 5 songs through or into the new album. I want to save the reaction, so I've not gone through it all and then faking it. I don't want to fake it, but
yeah.
That's really hard, not listening to it more than I can. But I would say Easy on Me, the first single, still I really like it.
Nice choice.
I know it's kind of a cop-out choice because it was the first one we heard. But I mean, I've only heard 5 songs off the album so far, so there's plenty of time for me to find a different one.
Nice. To Be Loved is my personal. When you get to that one, let me know.
I will. Thank you.
Yeah. Shall we start the show now?
Hagen.
Yeah.
Should point that up. So we are going to be discussing the best moments of season 8. What are your best moments? What are your favorite moments that have happened in the Schmoedown? What is something that you enjoyed seeing? What is the matches that you enjoyed? Anything like that. I'll start with our guest, Jay.
I would have to say the entire swag storyline throughout the season with Chandru and his increasing spiral into the downward pit that he is now sitting in. It's just, that's been an amazing storyline. I never saw where it would end up earlier in the season. I didn't think it would come to this, but I've enjoyed that because it's been more of a Chandru versus the entire faction of swag, which has been really fun to watch. And he's so good. He's so good. I mean, I really like Chandru. He and his hair. I'm just gonna say it. I have a crush on Chandru's hair.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
Nice.
But yeah, I would say that. Another thing that can't not be talked about would be Adam Witt. He hasn't managed like a whole lot this season, but man, he's proven that he's good and he has a great mind for this kind of stuff, especially in the Star Wars matches, because that's his jam there in the Schmoedown. But Adam Witt has done a great job managing this season. Those are probably the top 2 things that I've enjoyed the most.
Yeah.
For sure. Let's go to our leader of the leaderboard, Matt.
Yeah, I have a couple here in my notes. I did like favorite promo, favorite moment, favorite match, stuff like that. So my favorite moment by far, and I think people will forget maybe about it, but is double XX5XX that happened in the free for all. 2 times in one free for all, and the Aussie did it once. I think that was the biggest, wow. I think that people didn't expect it, and to knock off Bibiani off the table with it as well. I think that this for me, I think this is the moment of the year. I think that people will probably vote for Marisol winning the title because that's history. But I think that the most surprise, when I watched all the matches, the most holy shit moment for me, this happened, is the second time that happened, because I really didn't expect two times in one free for all, and to be done by the rookie. That's even more what the fuck just happened moment for me. So that's my favorite moment. My favorite match, it has to be for me, Shazam versus Corruption match. That match 51-50 was so nerve-wracking because it was back and forth, and that's my favorite kind of Schmoedown matches, when someone actually manages to catch up, that it's not the same through the whole match and then you go to the sudden death, but when someone is catching up. And it's also the match that made me appreciate buzzers much more than I did, because I did prefer, to be fair, fast money, because I am first and foremost trivia person. I love all the things surrounding Schmoedown, except that it's not trivia, but I am mostly trivia guy myself. So I loved fast money, but that match made me fall in love with the buzzers and what buzzers are doing. So that match is my favorite match. And for now, I think that this will change probably in the spectacular. My favorite promo is when Collins played Dan, and he had all the goat story that he told. That's my favorite promo of the year. I think, yeah. I gone through some of my favorites, and that promo still made me laugh and stuff like that. So that's my favorite promo, I think, and that's one of my favorite promo moments of this season. So yeah.
Nice choices.
That's fair. Liam?
Yeah, the free for all, for some reason I completely forgot about, and I know you bringing it up. I was like, that was an awesome moment, actually, especially the Blunden takeout with Bibbs on the table. That's a really good choice. So obviously, I love Marisol. She's my favorite player. So seeing her story this year and what's happened has just been amazing to witness. I want my favorite match in her run to title, though, was the Janine match. That could have so easily have gone either way, and I love both of those competitors, and I think we need to remember that match because that was one of the best I think she had all the way to the title. I also don't want us to forget about Mara at the beginning of the season winning the title. I feel like that might be forgotten a little bit when it comes to awards and things, but her being away for a year and then coming back, we didn't really know what her form would be like, if she'd be rusty, and then she came in and won the title, and the emotion of that match, the ending, essentially the opposite of when Dan won, and then he says, I won to Mara, but then you had it the other way around of Mara saying it to Dan and then him coming in and consoling her. It was just awesome. It was a really awesome moment. It's a shame we didn't get to see her a lot more after that. I know it was very tough with having Parker and Mara on the same faction, and I think that's probably why they're changing it up a bit next year, so things like that won't happen again. But that needs to be remembered. And then more recently, I have Nikki winning the Star Wars tournament, because I don't think anyone predicted that, and if you did, you're lying. I don't even think Nikki predicted that. So that was just a shock, and in the best type of shock. And she kept surprising herself throughout. you could see she didn't think she was going to beat Gold Leader. I don't think she thinks she was going to win the first match. So for her to go all the way through, and she looked so good in that final, I think she could. I mean, Harper is going to have a tough match on his hand. I hope she
I just want to point this out with your rival.
I don't believe you, Thomas. I'm sorry. I'm gonna pull you out. I'll have to go back and look at the old shows and see if
No,
you
he
actually
did. Thomas actually picked Demi every time we did.
Well, Thomas is the only one I know of, so fair play to you, Thomas.
Yeah.
Like,
I
that's
just
very
want
impressive.
to, yeah, I just want to shout out what Leo said as well. That Laura's Joker promo was also.
Yeah. That was going to be my promo of the year as well.
And I think that should play into what Jay said in terms of the sort of swag storyline. And at the beginning, Laura wanting to be into corruption and then sort of eventually drifting over to swag. But those were my main three for the year. Oh, and the only other thing I had was the actual draft at the very beginning. I thought was really exciting. I don't think it panned out as much as I was excited for it to be at the beginning. I think the draft system this year has been good, but I think it was more competitive last year. I think people care more about the individual players, less so than the faction race to an extent this year. But the actual draft I thought was really fun. And I remember us being like, why is he still on the board? How have you not picked Ivalanta? How has Ace not been picked? How has Laura not? And some of the decisions, it was just really fun to watch, and us getting really annoyed at the manager's decisions. And maybe like, who the hell is Griffey Newman? And now look at him. So that ended up being a genius move. And at the time, I was like, what are you doing? Who the hell is Griffey Newman? And then he's like got 2 title shots at Spectacular. So that definitely panned out. But that was fun. What about you, Ben?
My favorite moment is definitely the 51-50 Andrews cheer when he won. That's probably my moment there. My best match is that one as well. And then, of course, my favorite promo is the one that Leo pointed out. Someone pointed out here, that was brilliant. Also, we had some comments here that you guys pointed out the Marisol. Dagan said that the Marisol winning the title was his favorite as well. So, yeah, that's definitely going to be up this moment of the year. So I'm on to the next. The best spectacular moment that we've seen. So mine's going to be a bit of a newer topic. Mine is going to be Mara coming back and challenging Chandru last year. Was probably my best spectacular moment. I love that it was kind of brought back the history of Mara, introduced me as a newer fan to who Mara was, and made the heel seem more important and his title seem more important than maybe others might see it as. So that was my best spectacular moment. Let's start Liam, go the other way around him. What is your pick?
Thanks, Ben. Yeah, I have a few that I've put in my notes. So the first one I have is back in 2016 when it was the first time we had an Inner Geekdom match. And it was introduced with the 5-way, which was Robert Meyer Burnett, John Campia, Hector Navarro, Jeremy Johns, and Ashley Robinson. I believe, I think I'm right in thinking that was the first time we'd ever had an Inner Geekdom match. I might be wrong, but that's the first one I remember anyway. And it introduced one of my favorite leagues to Schmoedown, and I think it also introduced a lot of new fans because of it. And it was just a great addition, and it was a really fun, new, different format as well, the 5-way. And I just really enjoyed that one, and it was a good addition to that spectacular. And then the other one I have, which I think we need to mention, is in 2017, we had the Star Wars Iron Man match between Sam Witwer and Ken. Have I stolen it?
Yeah.
I stole it, haven't I?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Both of
Ken
us,
Knapp's not-
apparently. Yeah.
I really hope we can get Sam back in the Schmoedown one day, because that man's knowledge was insane. And what I loved in that match was Ken was behind after sort of the 25 minutes or the 28 minutes, however long it was before the last final five, and he caught up, and then it went to the final question. And I don't love the Iron Man format always, but it worked amazingly in that match. It was such a fun match to watch. Yeah, and that's back when Ken was at the highest of the Star Wars League, and Sam Witwer just came in, and I can't. It was so fun to watch.
Yeah.
That was my favorite match of that spectacular, and like I said, hopefully one day we can get Darth Maul himself, Sam Witwer, back to the Schmoedown, even if it's just for an exhibition, because I think that guy still is at the top of the Star Wars League, and I still think he could easily compete, even though the level has risen since he last came. I'd love to see what he can still do. So those were my two picks. What about you, Matt?
Well, my pick was for favorite match was
Sorry, guys.
Sam versus Ken. Sam was, until Harper and Gold Leader came to the Star Wars League, was still my favorite Star Wars player of all time. And I think he could compete, because I think that he wrote like half of Star Wars Wiki. Like, I know he was one of. I think he was. That's not checked. Like, I'm not sure, but I think that he's one of.
Said it. That means it's true.
Yeah. I didn't check, but I think that he wrote a lot of things in it, and so I think his knowledge is good. Will say that for Star Wars format of the questions, I think that Iron Man match is actually perfect for the level of knowledge that Star Wars has. I think that Iron Man match is perfect, but just for Star Wars. I don't think it's good for any other like the league. I would love if you could have like championship match in the Star Wars, like the special league with the special championship match, like the Iron Man one, because I think that for the Star Wars it really works. So yeah, that's the only Star Wars. That's the only Iron Man match that I liked in the Schmoedown as a match, like not the people in it. So that's my favorite, like the match for sure. My favorite moment in spectacular is probably when Patriots defended that belt, and when they like went down on when JT fall down on his knees, and like Finstock hugged him and stuff like that. I think that this will probably be overlooked because it's so early, but that was like pure emotion, because I don't think that when that team was formed, no one thought that that team would do what they did. So yeah, and I still think that they are second best team in Schmoedown ever when you look at like what they did. I think that the only team that did better than them is Shazam. When I look at the accomplishments, how many defenses and stuff like that. So that was my favorite moment. That, and when Alice came out as Santa Claus against Merle. That's just pure joy. And from the newer ones, I think that I have to go with Paul Oyama defeating. Was it in the spectacular, right? Paul Oyama's no. That wasn't no. Sorry, that was for something else. My favorite moment in the spectacular, like from the newer ones, was Adam Collins defeating. Adam Collins defeating Dan, because as I said, I really am a sucker for the rookie movie and the underdog story, and Rudy is still one of my favorite movies. So that was like the rudest story, I think, Adam Collins, and it will be Griffin Newman if he wins as well, because they are the underdogs, the rookies that came in and went undefeated, and in the end beat the big bad wolf. So yeah, that is my favorite moment from the new spectacular era and the new setting of the Schmoedown.
What about you, Jay?
Okay, Jake?
Yeah, well, of course, I had the Knapsack Whitwer Iron Man match, of course. I mean, if you don't have that, then I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, exactly. Excuse me. But another thing that I really like, that I watch this sometimes when I just want a good old school laugh, and this to me, I think, is a perfect representation of the wrestling aspect of Schmoedown as far as storylines and stuff that was just top notch. The Commissioner Bowl in Spectacular 3, and Emma Fyfe wins. I mean, great match, but the moment was it being revealed that Christian is the man pulling the strings and that he's the chairman of the board. He is the man. He wasn't playing to be commissioner. No, he was always in control. That was really great. And the way Christian delivered his lines there, and the smack talk and the telling people to shut up, and that was absolutely brilliant. And I understand that a lot of that was probably toned down and taken out because it's become more kid friendly. I get it, but man, those were the days, dude. I'm sorry, but those were the days for me personally when there was the smack talk was up here. And there were some F-bombs dropped every now and then, That was a great moment. And wasn't it spectacular? I might be wrong. Forgive me if I am. Was it spectacular where Roca was sick and we didn't know if he was going to be able to show up? Yes. That was amazing, dude. I mean, even if you let me say this. Even if you didn't know for sure he was going to be there, but you had a good hunch, like even if you're like, dude, I know he's going to be here, it was still amazing and shocking and just such a rush when the lights go down and that music starts and it's like, dude, he is here. That was amazing.
I think he won Moment of the Year for that, actually,
guys,
that year, or like the year after.
I just first need to shout out Galaxy Geeks. Thank you for telling people to like our readers, supporting us. Thank you to Liam and Luke to help us go there. Thank you very much. So just want to shout out them.
Dagon's put something in the chat. Now this was awesome, but I don't think that was spectacular.
Sorry.
That was one of the best moments ever.
Yeah. Dan takes off the hood and they're just all standing up there with the five.
That's probably my favorite ever moment in Schmoedown, actually.
That was amazing.
Yep, it was great.
Just wanted to point out Leo's comment here, which was also a brilliant one. Guy tackling Roca in Spectacular 2.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was great as well.
Yep.
I think John had forgotten they were going to do it, so it was genuine reaction as well, which made it even better.
Dude, I don't know anything for sure, but I get the feeling that there really is maybe a little bit of bad blood between them, like in real life, aside from Schmoedown. Just because, and this is like, I have not heard anything, so I'm not like ratting someone. I don't know anything, but I've heard on their streams doing other different types of shows where they have kind of taken some jabs at each other that I never took as Schmoedown related banter. It seemed like I don't know. I'm just saying, it just seems like there might be a little something for real between them. I don't know.
Jay coming in with the gossip.
I don't know, man. It just seems like some of the little jabs are like,
Dumb, like fast ones, right?
Yeah.
And fast ones under the belt. Yeah.
Roca's my favorite character. He's, man, if it weren't for Roca, I never would have understood what the Schmoedown was really doing. because before I realized that Roka was a character, like the outlaw was a character, I honest to God thought that was all of their real personalities. Like, I'll give you a great example. Stacey Howard, I could not stand that girl, but I'm watching her on the Schmoedown, and that's all I know of her, and I just didn't realize that it had the wrestling aspect to it. But then when I realized it was Roka, I started looking at everybody else, and I'm like, okay, now instead of not liking that person, I see that they're doing a good job doing their character.
Yeah. And I just want to agree with you, Jay. I also think that all the commissioner stuff and fake commissioner and that was the best storyline in Schmoedown to this day. And I also preferred. I get it with all the kids friendly and family friendly show, but I preferred as well when they could get nitty gritty and have an edge. I also was a fan of wrestling when they did that. I really don't like wrestling right now because I think wrestling shouldn't be PG. Wrestling should be like nitty gritty and stuff like that. So yeah, that was also my favorite storyline and one of the best moments you actually picked. I forgot about that one, so just want to shout it out one more time. Yeah.
Just want to point this out. According to Dagan, you're right, Jay.
Oh, nice.
Apparently they do have heat. But yeah, I mean, it happens every so often.
But I mean, that does not come over in Schmoedown. You know what I mean? So that's good. That means that even though they might not like each other for real, they both are professional when it comes to working together, and you've got to love and respect that, man.
Yeah.
Guys,
I mean, I don't like some of my co-workers. Well, I shouldn't say that. There's no one there. I'm starting to say that, but then I'm like, wait a minute. No, where I work now, I actually do like everybody. But I mean, I've had jobs where I didn't like people, but I mean, we work good together. So,
yeah. So I have one question for you. So our listeners and watchers know, no one knows I will ask this. So, do you think now that we are in the end of the season, do you like factions? Or you prefer like if they're not here? Like we had 2 years of factions. So what do you think about factions, and what would you do if it's up to you with it?
Personally, I'm a bit mixed on them. I think last season it worked better than this season. I think corruption coming from the bottom and then working the way up was really exciting. I think the issue I've had with it this year is it's affected people's ability to play matches. Like, i.e. Mara couldn't play, or Ace and Laura, like they can only pick one. And that's where it's been an issue for me. And I think that's probably because of scheduling and things like that as well. It hasn't worked as well for me this year as last year. I don't fully dislike it, but I find myself more invested in the players, whereas before I felt I was more invested in the factions last season. Like I really was rooting for corruption, whereas now, which I don't think necessarily a bad thing, I feel like I'm really rooting for Marisol, or I don't really care on what faction they're on. I'm just rooting for the players. And I think that's changed for me this year because I really was rooting for corruption. Like I think the emphasis was a lot more on the factions last year. But that's just my own opinion. I wonder what you guys think. What about you, Jay?
Yeah.
Oh, me? Oh, I've got lots of thoughts on this. I enjoy the idea of factions because I'm more of a sports guy. Sports and competition are that's what I enjoy the most in Schmoedown. So I like the idea of it. I just would change it a little bit personally. I don't know. I could be talking completely out of my ass. It could never work, but just my mind is going to a place where, say we have 10 factions. Each faction gets can fill 5 spots. Okay. And each faction, then they officially draft 4 players each. So you still have a draft. And each faction then would have like a specialty player for Inner Geekdom, someone for Star Wars, someone for singles, and then that fourth spot would be someone who could complement and be a team with someone else that's already on the faction. Then that fifth spot I would leave open for in case anything comes up and someone can't make their match, or I don't know, just spitballing here. Maybe I want to bring up
reserve
specialty player, and but that fifth spot you could bring someone up from FCL to fill that void. That's kind of how I would look at it like that. But then I want to take it real quick to the FCL. I personally think it would be amazing to then have the FCL as a true developmental league. And each faction in the Schmoedown has a faction, like a minor league faction in FCL, where they have like 12 or 20 players on their faction in the FCL. So these minor league factions are all fighting within the FCL for titles and all that kind of stuff. But say I'm the dungeon manager and Smets can't make his Inner Geekdom match, but I've got a player in FCL who's been killing it in Inner Geekdom. Then I can go down to my minor league dungeon team in FCL and pull him up for the match. That kind of stuff is kind of what is how I would look at it.
Yeah.
That's I like that idea. I think what I've wanted to see in the FCL as well, just to add to your point, Jay, is I would like them to the reward for winning be a faction spot. So if you win like a singles title in FCL, you get promoted to the big leagues, but essentially you get promoted to Schmoedown. I think that would be like a real incentive to and make the FCL like more attractive to watch, because you can see these players going up into the main league. I don't watch it at the moment. I'd like to watch it, and I think next year a lot of players will be going into it, so it's probably gonna hurt my interest a bit more. But imagine like fighting for a spot to get into a faction. I think that'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah,
I agree.
For me, it's something similar to what Jay said. Actually, I would do 5 or 6 people in the faction, but I would make it so you have to draft one rookie. That's like a minimum. You have to draft one rookie, because what I am scared of personally, to be fair, if they like cut a lot of people from the Schmoedown that are here now, how are we going to get to see new people that will like put something new in the Schmoedown? That's actually my what I'm scared of, because let's be honest, no one knew who King Khan was, and there is a lot of a chance that there is a big chance that he wouldn't be in the Schmoedown like just like him, that he would had much more difficult time. So I like the idea that the faction needs to go out and find that one player that is really good, that they think that is really good, and that can mix some new blood in the Schmoedown. And I think that the best way of that is either through FCL, like Jay said, like, so you are calling up. I really like the thing that he said, that every faction has his own faction in the FCL, so you can change if someone has scheduling or stuff. That's brilliant, I think, for me. Everyone is studying together, because I do think that Schmoedown is better at the trivia. Players are better at the trivia because of the factions, because now they're all probably studying together and stuff like that. So I think that is good for the Schmoedown, and I would do it. I have it in my notes. So you have like 4 titles in the FCL, right? Teams, singles, Star Wars, and IG, and you pick one more player, and I would each year have a faction called FCL that is made up of all the winners, all the belt holders from the FCL. So all the belt holders are playing together next season in the Schmoedown against like the old guard. I think that would be great. That would make more incentive to watch FCL as well, because you want to see who is going to be next FCL like faction. I would do that. I also think that they should limit the number of people, because as Liam said, you had situation like Parker, Mara, Laura, and Ace and stuff like that. But I just want that Schmoedown still keeps open to the lot of rookies, because as we see this year, I really think that this was the year of the rookies. Like overall, it was the year of the rookies. Like you have Nikki, you have Griffey, you have King Khan that no one knew about, and he could be a team champion in the end of the spectacular. Like you have so many rookies that did. Yeah, Harper. But you have so many rookies that no one knew about. Like people did know about Harper because he was the big guy in the Dragon Con. That's why I didn't mention him. But like, I like it when you mix some new blood that no one knows about in the Schmoedown. It piques my interest. I loved the beginning of the season when all the rookies played their matches and we didn't know anybody. I was really interested. Yeah, so I would do it like that. What do you think, Ben? I think you are the only one.
Okay, well,
Didn't say.
I would say the only thing that I would add to that, because you guys have pretty much said what I would agree with, is the only thing that I would add to that is if you have a character in the FCL, bring that whole character up from the FCL. Like we had the spoiler thing in the FCL, and he didn't get to carry that on when he got brought up into the real Schmoedown. If you want to make the FCL legitimate, you got to bring those characters from the FCL into the real Schmoedown, I would say.
That's a fair point, John.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to, because we running out of time, just wanted to move on to the next one, which is prediction time. Matt is still top of the leaderboard. Don't know if
will be.
Don't know if we really need to put his thing up here, but we'll do it anyway. He's top of the leaderboard there.
Yep. 5 points. 5 points more than Liam.
Nice. Well done, Matt.
Thank you. I was third. I was third most of the season. Then I came in like Mario Mandzukic and beat England and took away their World Cup.
How dare you bring that up?
And I will not be apologizing. I will not be apologizing for that.
See, what happened is he turned heel, and then he got the fire that he needed to win.
Yeah, that's it. And I believed in King, and I believe in King Arthur. So thank you to King Arthur. I picked them against Final Exam and Deception, and I was right.
Yep. Okay, so let's go to the first match, which is what I think will probably be the first match: Thomas Harper versus Nikki Demi Demolanta. Let's get Jay your thoughts first.
I have to take Thomas Harper. I've been extremely surprised at how well Nikki did. And she, dude, I tell you what, though, of all the Star Wars players, and you could throw Molly in this as well, but Nikki has come further than Molly this season. But Nikki has a great asset with Andrew DiMolanta there. I mean, I can't imagine the wealth of knowledge, not just Star Wars training, but like gameplay training, insight, pressure, how to deal. Like she's a great wealth of knowledge right there, and I think she will eventually win it. But I think no one's taken out Harper this season. I don't think he's just laser focused, man. He won that belt, and I know for a fact he does not want to give it up. So,
yeah.
Fair. Just wanted to, so Leo says Harper will defend and Thomas says Demi. Matt,
and-
your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I have to go first because I have to predict now actually for the spectacular, and my official prediction is Harper. I knew he would probably be the champion when he came to the backstage first time, and when he break the game down, then I knew, okay, I get he has knowledge from DragonCon, but he also is invested in the game and he likes the game, and he actually took time to learn the game. So I knew he would be dangerous. So I'm not surprised, and I have to pick Harper. I think he's going to defend. That's the, I think, safe bet. I think that everyone in my position would do the same. I understand if Liam, Teresa, or Ben pick differently, just for the strategy reasons. But I think that if they were in my shoes, they would pick Harper. So I'm picking Harper because I think he will win.
Okay, I'll give Teresa's pick. She picked Demi. I think that was more of a strategy pick so that she could be different to you, Matt.
Yeah, I get
but
it.
yeah, Liam, it's your turn.
Okay, so I should probably preamble this by explaining my situation in our league. So as you can see, I am exactly 5 points behind Matt. So theoretically, I can still tie him. The only way I can do that is to pick differently from Matt in every match.
Man.
So what I'll do is I'm going to pick different every time, but I will say who I would have picked had I not been in that situation as well.
Yeah.
I would have still picked. I'm going to pick Nikki, and I would have still picked Nikki because I am been so impressed with her in that tournament. I thought Gold Leader would be unstoppable. Like I thought after losing to Harper by like a slightly misspelt word in that tournament final, I just thought, I don't think he's going to be able to do it. She's going to be able to do it, and she was so calm. That is the best speed round in terms of the fast money I've ever seen played in any league. She was answering before Ellis could finish the question. She was so confident. She was calm, and my concern with that was I didn't know how she'd be in a 5-round format. She's proven that she can do it. I'm assuming this will be buzzers because it's live, and I wonder if that might affect it. But she was so quick with fast money. I think if it gets to that stage and it's like there's a point or two in it, come to the buzzers, I think she may have him on it. She was so fast, so I would have picked her anyway. That's a really exciting matchup, and I can't wait to see how the buzzers play into that match because I think they're going to have a big effect on it.
Yep, true. So I'm so far behind, it doesn't really matter who I go with. So I'm just going to go with my heart with all these picks, and I got to go with Demi. I've said on this show multiple times, I've titled nearly every match she's been in, you can't underestimate Demalanta, and for that reason, I'm picking Nikki to win. Buzz around, it might make the difference, but I think it'll be that 5-pointer that will determine. In my opinion, I think they'll both go to their 5. I think maybe Demi might, if it comes to that, she might get 1 or 2 buzzers. That's just my opinion. I think it'll be in the 5-point range.
Jay, what do you think? In what way this match will be decided?
What? I'm sorry, the Harper Demalanta?
Yeah.
I already said. I just said Harper.
No. In what way do you think it's going to be decided?
I think it's going to come down to I think the buzzer round is going to determine it all. I think the buzzer round, honestly, if the score is close enough, the buzzer round, in my opinion, determines every match. That's just kind of how I view it. I could be way off, but I think the buzz around is going to be the deciding factor here.
I'm with you on that.
Me too.
Yep.
Sorry,
I think it will.
For a second, I'll admit it. I got lost in my head for a second, and then I snapped right back. I'm like, oh wait, what's going on?
It's no worries.
And it was
no worries.
so it's not like I was thinking about what I'm going to have for dinner. It was Schmoedown.
Yeah, I guess.
Can we poke you to ask you what you're thinking about?
I'm sorry, what's that?
He asked, "What did you think about?"
Can we poke you to ask you what you're thinking about?
Oh, honestly, I was thinking about the Shazam and King Arthur match, and how I think Griffey Nooms is actually going to walk away double belted. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Okay,
fair enough. That will take us into the next match, which is Shazam versus King Arthur. So I take it you picking King Arthur in this match.
Yes, I'm too impressed with what they're doing, and Shazam is great, but I don't know. I just got to give it to King Arthur. Nooms is on a roll that cannot be denied here, and he's going to be double pumped because he's playing for 2 belts that night. So I think he's going to be on top of his game. I say this a lot, and it doesn't always come into play, and it doesn't even come into play most of the time. But I just sometimes the kid can get a little too upset with himself if he gets something wrong, and he gets a little excited sometimes. Sometimes I think that throws his game off just a little bit. And if that happens, then that could also sway it more toward King Arthur. Yeah. But Sam's awesome. But kid is so good. He just and that's another thing I like. I don't like that he's so hard on himself when he gets something wrong, because obviously he shouldn't be. But at the same time, I like it because that shows like he is truly invested into it and he cares about it. He wants to win, and I really like that about the kid. But I got to take King Arthur.
Now it's me, right? Because I have to be first. Okay. So this was really hard for me. This was one of the hardest matches for me to pick whole season. Both of these teams are teams I never picked against, and I never lost a point when I picked those teams. But in the end, I think I'm going to go with Shazam. And I'll be honest, I will be rooting for King Arthur. I would love for King. If I'm not looking at my predictions, I would love if King Arthur could be belted, and then Griffey, as Jay said, could win the singles. Because then we would have for the first time. I think it should have happened. We would have for the first time rookie, singles, and the player of the year all in the same person. And that would be awesome. And the big thing to end the season of the rookies, I think, to have the rookie get three most of coveted prizes maybe in Schmoedown. So yes, but I'm going with Shazam because I think that Kid can get into his head, but I think that's why Shazam it's a great team, because Kid knows how to get Beast out of his head, and the Beast know how to get Kid out of his head. The reason I picked Shazam is multiple. There is 2 reasons. First reason is experience, and that's the main reason. They have experience with the Buzzers as a team. They had played multiple teams titles matches, and they have more experience with the audience. Unfortunately, I personally do think that the worst match King Khan had is in front of the live crowd, and that's against Lon Harris. And now he has to play in the spectacular, and I have nothing against King Khan. I love the kid and I love the player, but I think that maybe all the spectacular vibes and the atmosphere can get to him. I don't know, but I think that that's the real possibility. Uh, so I'm not sure, but I'm going to pick Shazam because of the experience, and they already played on the biggest stages. So I think that's safer as prediction, but I will be rooting for King Arthur.
Oh, is it Teresa now, Ben?
Yeah.
Yeah. Teresa picked Shazam. No doubts there. That was a pretty good pick in my opinion. Liam, I take it you taking King Arthur, but who would you pick?
Don't I? If I have any chance, although I'm not like upset about picking them at all. I probably would have picked Shazam had I had free choice. But I'm not mad at all with King Arthur. I will say I think they'll need to play better than they did against Press Room to gonna beat Shazam. I think they got away with one there. I think they will. I do think they'll play better than that. I think King Arthur in particular was very disappointed with his performance, and I'm sure he's going to come back fighting. And I do think Shazam are beatable. Corruption came extremely close, and Lightning Time are doing really well until the betting round, and it sunk the match. So they can be beaten. I think if they're going to be beaten, it's probably going to happen at Spectacular because they like to get beaten at Spectacular. So I kind of would have rooted for Shazam, but now I have to pick King Arthur. I'm fully going to be behind them because I don't want Matt to win our league. So come on, Griffey, come on, King Card, you can do it.
Fair enough. Okay. Next match is Mike Kalinowski versus Robert Parker. Jay, who you got?
I would prefer if Parker won. I would enjoy to see Parker have won this title a long time ago, but I have to be consistent with my predictions this season, whether they've been right or wrong. And I'm picking Kalinowski because he has the momentum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got Matt.
Fair. I just want to ask us, do you think the team match will be first to give Griffey time to recoup?
It should
or do
be.
you think they'll... Yeah.
I think that would be the most fair thing to do, depending on what Griffey prefers. Because I know, for example, Bibbs said that he likes to play back to back. That's what Bibbs prefers. But if it's me, I would ask for my match to be first and the last, so I can relax a little and start and finish. That would be my asking price for playing two matches at Spectacular. So yeah.
Fair. Okay. So Matt, who do you have with the Parker Kalinowski?
Yeah, I think you all know who I'm going with. I never picked against this man in Inner Geekdom the whole season, and I'm not going to start. So I'm going with Mike. I think that he realizes that if he can get maybe then off that goat position in the Schmoedown, he needs to work that Inner Geekdom belt, because I'll say this: Mike in teams is better than Dan. When I look at the accomplishments, what he did and how many titles he has and stuff like that, he has better record, I think, in teams and did better than Dan did in teams so far. And Mike did it with only two teams, but let's be honest, only one real team. You can say that he had only one real team, because also Dan played with one other person against, I think, Schmoes, and they also lost that match. But Mike had one real partner, that was Chance, and they did really good. So I think that Mike is really preparing. He knows that if he's going to have big legacy in this thing we call Schmoedown, he has to do it in Inner Kingdom first and foremost. He already has legacy, but I think that he knows that if he does this against Parker, then he's cementing himself as the greatest Inner Kingdom player of all time for probably a long time. And also, he's the only player that, in my eyes, can compete with Griffey Newms if Griffey wins both titles, that can compete a little with Griffey Newms for that player of the year spot, with him playing in 3 different divisions and did okay in all 3. Like, he didn't do the greatest in singles, but he did win the number 1 contender match in teams, and he's, as we know, undefeated in Inner Geekdom, with the caveat that he only played in championship in Inner Geekdoms, as did Shazam, and that's really hard to do. So I think he's the second one, and I think that this is the final year that people is going to and give him the respect that he deserves, and that's one of the best of all time. I think he was, until this season, pretty underrated in many people's eyes. So I'm happy. I'm happy that he did his job, and I hope he will. This is my heart pick, to be fair, and I do think that it will come down to the buzzers. So yeah.
Okay. Teresa picked Parker. Liam, who would you have picked?
So I have a funny relationship with Mike this year because I didn't pick him in every match and then he won. And then when I finally picked him against Janine, he lost. So I'm quite pleased I got Parker because he's probably going to win now. I can't get Mike picks right, but I'm happy with Parker. I thought Matt was going to pick Parker, so I thought I was going to have to go Mike. I wanted to pick Parker anyway, so I'm more than happy with this. I'm feeling good about my chances of catching up to Matt now.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
What about you, Ben?
I'm going with Mike just because to me he's the IG goat. But yeah. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. Marisol versus Griffey Newms. Marisol McKee versus Griffey Newms. Jay, who you got?
Marisol's great. Really enjoy her a lot, but Griffey Newms is, like I said, he's going to walk away from this with 2 title belts, I think. So yeah, Griffey Newms all the way here.
That's fair. Matt, really quickly, who do you have and why?
Griffey Newms. I have Griffey. I think he has a momentum. As Jay said before, he has big momentum. I think he can do it. He's my favorite rookie. I said it from his first match when he came out with his pink gloves. And Marisol played good. In first match when she played Ethan, it happened similarly to what happened to Ethan second time when he played with Lightning Time, and that's that betting around that I think sank him pretty hard in that match. So I do think that Griffey has a chance to win. I am a little, to be fair, I am a little nervous because he has to play 2 matches, and I think that that's always going to be a factor. But I think that Griffey is one of the most accurate players in overall this season, and I think he has maybe a little better accuracy even than Marisol, because I'm not sure. I'm talking out of my ass now. So, but I have that feeling when I watch the matches. Leo would probably know, but I'm going to with Griffey. I really want him to be the champion, to be fair, because I think it would be phenomenal. And that's it.
Did Teresa pick?
Teresa picked Marisol. I think that's one that I think she was happy to go with, but I don't know if she's watched the full singles matches yet. Liam, are you happy with Marisol?
Yeah,
I know
I was
she's your
gonna pick
favorite
her
player.
anyway.
I knew that one.
I would have picked her anyway. Like
I knew.
Griffin's looked unstoppable. Marisol will be the one to stop him. You said momentum. I mean, she's got momentum as well in singles.
That's
You know,
true.
I think to beat Ethan and then also defend against Chance, who was playing really well this year, that's also a lot of momentum for her.
Yeah.
I again, buzzers. I think every match is going to come down to buzzers. I really do. I'm so pleased because I don't like fast money and I much prefer buzzers. So I can't wait to see them in action. And I do wonder how many matches will be swayed by them and if it will have a role in all of them or just a couple. But Marisol's got this. She has got this. I've got faith in her.
Yeah, that's it.
As I said, I'm going with my heart, so I'm going with Marisol in this one. And it seems like we have a split decision going through our things. Just to answer your question here.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. I had a feeling that Newman has a lot better accuracy. But okay, yeah, okay.
It's probably due to the teams matches and so on. I think it doesn't help.
Yeah, and that finals in the singles were pretty hard questions. Like Bibbs Newman questions in round number 1 was tough.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So shall we do what I think will be the main event, because Schmoedown have been doing a kind of history of John Roker this last week. So I think it's going to be John Roker versus Dan Murrell in the main event. Jay, who you got in this match?
Dude, baby. John Roca, the outlaw all the way, man. I'm not gonna say like he's gonna kick Merle's ass or anything. Merle's really, really good. Probably Merle's great. But dude, Roca is going to win this match, jump on his horse, and ride off into the sunset a hero to the Schmoedown, dude. Roca all the way.
Perfect.
I hope that he plays blindfolded, dude. That would be amazing. A little throwback there.
I think he will.
That would be fantastic.
I think he will, with the hat as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that
and
would
the
be
mask.
Nice.
Blindfold over the mask.
Yeah. Now it's my turn. So this is probably not going to be popular opinion, but in the beginning this season was war, and in the end Finstunk and Roca won the war against Dan and Bateman. That's a fact. They won a war. Like, they kicked Dan out, Dan found a new faction, and Finstunk Exchange won the war in the end. So this is going to, I think, be the revenge of Dan Murrell, and that's why I pick Dan Murrell. In true wrestling fashion, when you retire, you put over an opponent. That's a rule in wrestling. When you retire, you put over the talent that is staying. And I think this is going to happen. I think Murrell is going to win. I don't think that Murrell is going to be that big of personality in the Schmoedown next year, because he moved and Schmoedown is going back. So I don't know how long he will stay in the Schmoedown, but I know that he probably sees Roca as the biggest rival, and I think that they are both studying their butts off because they both want to win, I think, very, very hard. I will be rooting for Roca because it would be like nice, but I'm thinking Merle is going to win this and have a little satisfaction. He lost a war, but at least he can win the battle at least one. So between them. So I think this is going to happen, and it is not my favorite scenario. I will just say quickly that I would really like to see Roca versus Snyder as Roca's last match. But yeah, that's just me, my personal preferences, and yeah, that's it.
I mean, do we even have to say who Teresa picked? Her favorite competitor is Dan, so of course she's going to pick Dan to win. Liam, are you with Roca?
I was going to pick him. So there's only one match that it wasn't going to be my pick. I would have picked Shazam, but I had to go King Arthur. I would have picked the other four. So this has turned out quite well for me. And I'm not mad about picking King Arthur. So this is John Roca, like regardless of what happens, I just want to give credit to, because he made this league what it is. He has enhanced the wrestling angle, and he was the first one to kind of have a real character. So he deserves so much credit. Back when they were in Collider, I think he is the reason Schmoedown is where it is today, and this is going to be his swan song. I can't see him losing this. As good as Marvel is, he's probably going to put everything into this because it's his last match. Marvel can come back next year, win or lose. Roca isn't. So I want Roca to win. I think he will win. And even if he doesn't, I just think he deserves so much credit. I don't think people would Schmoedown would be where it is without him. Back in the all the belts phase of Schmoedown, I remember him. I remember his journey, and I remember rooting for him, even though I didn't like the character. I still found investment in him because his character work was so good. So I hope he does it, and I think he will do it. You got Ben?
Yeah. I have John Roca as well. I'm sorry, Teresa, when you watch this, you're going to be upset with me, but I don't know. John Roca's just seemed like he has a fire under his butt that I haven't seen from Dan this year, and maybe this match will light that fire because it is the biggest rivalry in Schmoedown history at the moment. So maybe that'll be the thing that lights the fire under Dan this year. So maybe we'll see Dan win, but I got to give it to Roca. I just want to, before we go and I give Jay a chance to plug his show, I just wanted to ask, Thomas made a good point. He said that this thing is the Spectacular is probably the closest Spectacular in terms of matches that we've seen that could go either way so far. What do you guys think of that?
I think I'd agree.
Agree.
Yeah. Great matchups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
And
one-sided here. You know what I mean? It does. I don't get the feeling like, I picked based off of personal preference in a couple of you know what I mean? I was not looking at my picks as in like, well, man, Shazam is like way better than King Arthur or anything. That's never great match.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jay, is there anything you want to plug? Any shows you want to plug or anything like that?
You can follow us at the JCast Network on Twitter if you'd like, and at the JCast Network on YouTube. We do live shows Saturday afternoons at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We didn't do one yesterday, but we're back this coming week. We'll be doing a pre-show. We'll be starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Time this Saturday. It'd be a lot of fun, so y'all can check that out. And there's other stuff on my channel, too. I don't know. We have a Bachelor show Sarah and I do that we're bringing back here pretty soon. And Star Wars show will start up again here soon with Boba Fett coming. I do reactions. So there's other stuff on there aside from Schmoedown content, too. So if y'all want to check it out, check it out. Thank you.
That's awesome. Okay. Liam, do you want to close the show?
Yeah, cool. Just massive thanks again to Jay for coming on, and also I've been on your show and that was great fun. So thanks for having me on your show a few weeks back, and hopefully we can collaborate again at some point in the future. Also, your no pause reactions, you didn't plug, and I want to plug them for you because they're really fun. And I love Adele, so I'm glad that you're covering her. And obviously we got Spectacular in coming weeks, and it's going to be great. And You're a Schmoe will be back to talk all about it. But it's been great. Thanks everyone for joining us and coming in the comments. We love having you join us and chatting along with us, Thomas and Leo and Ryan and Brian and Dagan and everyone that's been with us. Thank you so much for joining and getting involved. If you can like the YouTube video, that'd be great, just to sort of share it around a bit. And we recently hit over 50 subscribers, which is a bit of a milestone for us. So thank you everyone for subscribing, and hopefully soon we'll be at 100, and then we'll grow from there. So thank you guys, and that wraps it up from us. So we'll see you in a few weeks.
Matt, anything you want
That's
to
it,
add?
guys. Nah, I just want to say thank you. I really didn't expect that we will have more than 50 subscribers in less than a year. I know that people think that 50 is like small, but it's not. I think it's not. So I'm very pleased and satisfied. And thank you to the community that welcomed us with open arms. In the end of the season, I really want to say it to the Jay and to all the podcast and review guys and everyone in this community. Really, thank you. I didn't expect that we will be welcomed that much by people who never knew us. So really, really, from the bottom of my heart, you surprised me in a good way, and thank you very much. And I'm glad that I'm part of this Reactors community that we have. And yeah, that would be it for me.
Yep.
Thank you guys.
Just left for me to say thank you and enjoy your week.